If you've been avoiding AC Evo because of the VR performance, you might want to look again. Yesterday's update feels like someone flipped the switch. I've been sim racing for years, run a car setup business, and I only drive exclusively in VR. So if you want to know if AC Evo performs now, whenever it's finally smooth, or whenever it's worth jumping back into, stick around. And I also share why this update is more important than most people think. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm running a monster PC with a 5090, and when yesterday the update came, I looked at the game and I just started it up. This is what I normally do. I put on my Dream Air, I start the Kia Lami in a GT3 car, and I'm like, this smile that I had on my face was like, for 1 minute I was just like, oh my god, it is actually working. Everything looked super crisp. I was really blown away. My first response was like, oh my god, this is so much better than it was. This footage what I'm showing now is a Nordschleife at nighttime, and normally with Assetto Corsa Evo or with other simulations, you always see a frame time spike or you see an FPS drop somewhere on track. But I drove this lap on the Nordschleife in the nighttime with 30 cars on track, and I did not see one drop. And I also saw that the frame time and the FPSs was like mega steady, like there was no spikes or drops or and that's just so interesting to me. I normally don't see that, and that's also assuming that the OpenXR toolkit is showing the correct data, that like how much frame time it actually is. But let's assume that for now. I'll show you quickly my settings, and then after that I will explain why I think this update is so massively important. And what's even more interesting is they have this eye tracking function that is it's not working already. And this VR tab you have on the top is actually really good. And these were the settings that I used with my 5090. But there was a little bit of a problem, and that's that I don't have a lot of time to tinker with all these settings. But yeah, you can take these over if you want to. My Pimax Play has like 0.85 of the native resolution, so 0.85. So when I tried to lower all of these settings to create some overhead, because I was very much at the limit on the 72 FPS, it didn't really matter what I changed. I got like the same frame time, like the 12 milliseconds, which is the limit on 72 FPS. And I couldn't really change it, but with the different pixel density and foveated rendering and the upscaling modes, you can really change the image. So there's a lot of possibility. Don't put the pixel density up too much, because I actually broke the game. I don't know, I always want to see the extreme nice picture, but then I broke the game. So now, why do I think this update is so important? That it seems the sim racing space is going to take our VR users a lot more serious, because this is just one more step getting me closer to actually playing Assetto Corsa Evo more and more and more. This was a real big limit for me, but now I'm like more excited. Every time I open up Steam, I look at the Assetto Corsa Evo and I'm like, yeah, why not play it? Because the VR is now also a lot better. Now, the most interesting to me on Assetto Corsa Evo and all these type of updates is there a little bit of a story that I need to explain before all of this stuff started. So last year, or like 2 years ago, on the Sim Racing Expo, I spoke with a guy that was like very much into the development of Assetto Corsa Evo, and I remembered I was asking a lot of questions about what's gonna happen with ACC, and this, mind you, this was before like Le Mans Ultimate got popular. And this individual, he looked at me and he had this like sly like smile with like knowledge that he couldn't say, and he was like, Evo is the future, mate. Evo is the future. Now, obviously, we are almost 2 years ahead of that story, but this is just that smile on his face. I keep just buried into my memory, and every time there's an update and something positive happens, I need to, like, I remember that story and that smile on his face, like the knowledge he knows. So we're not there yet, okay? It's not perfect. I think that people on mediocre systems and VR are still in big trouble. I think you cannot run it. Please let me know in the comments if it was improving for you, also for the triple screens. But I do think it can go really quick, because there are two elements that prevent me from playing Evo at the moment. And that is very simple. It's a car class, a complete car class that allows me to do competition racing, and an online platform where I can grind my safety rating and rating. If we have those two elements, imagine what's gonna happen. If VR works perfectly and everything looks nice, the force feedback, maybe a tire model update, imagine 3 updates, 3 months. We could look at a completely different space in the sim racing scene. Because why would I play Le Mans Ultimate with limited tracks and being hyped with lots of tracks are gonna come, but they're not there yet? And Assetto Corsa Evo pushing out a track every update, like turning on a switch and optimize VR in one update. Hell, we could be looking at like a few more switches and all of a sudden this sim is complete. Now maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but these are my thoughts about the VR. I think it's a massive improvement, and I'm very optimistic about Assetto Corsa Evo. Also the car setup stuff and the tweaking stuff, I really like it. So here are my 2 cents about the Assetto Corsa Evo. And if you want to see the comparison between Assetto Corsa Evo and Le Mans Ultimate, I highly recommend this next video, where I think LMU should be worried, and I still think LMU should be worried. It's a good video. 20,000 people have watched it.